Hey guys, and welcome back to another random distractions video, and this time it's going to be in my living room, so it's a little bit different. But in the intro video I mentioned that in addition to like video games and stuff, I also am into home theater. And so I thought I would do a home theater tour, and also I got a new piece of gear that I'm pretty excited about, and there's actually a pretty funny story behind that. I wanted to kind of mention the things that I currently have. It's something that I've been working on since I got married and then moved into our own place and stuff like that. So that was since 2000. So it's been over 20 years that I've been working on this particular home theater system. And so things I've gotten, every couple of years I would do something. I started off in the beginning, of course, with like the home theater in a box kind of systems and things like that. Eventually moving on to buying separates. And I wrote a couple of notes here so that I would remember, but like for example, the speakers that I currently have are the Pioneer Andrew Jones edition, and that includes like tower speakers, center channel speaker, the surrounds, which I got back in, and I had to look this up, back in 2014. So that's been quite a little while. And then the just recently, back in, let me see, December of 2020, I got the Atmos modules that go along with that. So they're the ones that kind of sit on top of the speakers. In this case, I have them on the front channel speakers, and that's where they sit. And I've still kind of been working or tweaking those to see how it sounds. I don't have very many, I guess, Blu-rays that take advantage of Atmos. I know there's certain movies that really, do that better than others. I think the only one that I currently have is the John Wick one, and then there's a scene, I think, where it starts raining, and you're supposed to be able to hear the rain, coming down on top of you. So but it's kind of, I think I sort of hear it, and then sometimes I'm like, I don't know if it's really there. So like I said, it still needs a little bit of tweaking. The subwoofers, I actually bought two of them. One I bought in October of 2015, and they're the Klipsch SW-112s. And then, so that was in 2015 October, and then in February of 2016, I bought a second one. They were on sale, I think, the first time, and then they went on even a better sale when I bought the second one. So that was really awesome to be able to do that. And the receivers that I had up until then, like I said, it was like home theater in a box, and then I moved over to a Pioneer 5.1 receiver, and I don't remember the model number, but the one that I currently have is the VSX 1131, which is a 7.2 channel receiver, and that I got probably back in 2016. And then the television, which I actually really love this television. It's been I just really love it. So and there's kind of a little bit of a story behind that too. So of course, back in the day, I had like the Sony flat screen Trinitron televisions before moving on to like LCD televisions and things like that. And I went over to a Panasonic plasma TV. So I don't know if, I mean, those have not been around for quite a while. So I can't even remember exactly when we got that one. But I absolutely love that television as well. Mostly because, of the extreme contrast. So black shows up as black instead of a gray, dark gray color, and things like that. So it looked really great. And it wasn't for a very long time until 2016 when I decided to go with the Samsung KS8000. And I had read all the reviews, heard that it's supposed to be, really good, even though it's just one single backlight. It didn't have the multiple zones and things like that. And so I ended up, getting it. And it's a beautiful television, really. The design of it is really nice. And when there's a bunch of like colorful scenes and things like that, it looks really, really great. Unfortunately, when there was dark scenes, and then also, I know I've mentioned this before, but we have 2 kids, so we would have to, watch movies, after they went to bed or what have you, and so we would have to turn on the captions. And if there was a dark scene, when you had the captions on, you would see that faint, like, column of light, all the way up and down the television. And then just before I got this one, we started noticing in the right smack in the middle of the TV, there was 1 pixel length width, or 1 pixel width line going all the way down from the middle, from the top to the bottom. And at first it would, like, show up, and then it would fix itself, and then it would show up and be there for longer, and then it would fix itself, and then it kind of like went away, and I'm like, oh great, at least it's not doing that anymore. But then it came back, and it still has not left. We ended up moving that television into our bedroom, and it still kind of bugs me to this day, but not as much since it's just over in the bedroom. So that's when we got this one back in, looks like April 20th, or April 2020 is when we got this one, and it's back to like that Panasonic where the blacks are black, and it doesn't matter if you have closed captioning on. It's you see the letters there, but everything else is black around the scene if it needs to be. And it also has great colors and all that good stuff. And I guess I should say, I'm not a professional in any way as far as audio video stuff goes. I just really like it, and I really enjoy it. I love going to the movies, but I also love seeing movies here at home. And with all the stuff that's kind of going on right now with the pandemic and stuff, it's like you do it a lot more often, I guess. And so I've really been able to enjoy it a lot more, and especially like with Disney Plus, being able to watch The Mandalorian and have that big theater sound at home. It's really cool. That's kind of what I have right now. And the one new piece of gear that I actually got today, and like I said, there's kind of a funny story about that. So I know from the title it says the Anthem MRX 1140, but what I originally went to the store to buy was the Anthem MRX 740. Went in. They told me they had it in stock because it's actually like wasn't showing in other places to be available till like March. So when I happened to look at the website and see that they had it in stock, and it's a local place, so I was able to go run and get it, I was like, yes, all right. So I went to go get it. When it was one of those places where you have to order it and then you have to go around outside to pick it up. And I did it during my lunch hour while I was at work. And it got to the point where I'm like, oh man, I really got to get back because I have a meeting that I need to get to. But luckily they were able to get it into the car, and I was able to get back in time for the meeting. So after the meeting, I went and took a look at it again to just kind of, since I just kind of had thrown it down and what have you. And when I was looking at it, I'm like, wait a second, that says 1140 on there, and I'm like, well, that's not good. I mean, it's cool that I got the 1140 because that's better than 740, but it's more than I need, and and so I reached out to the store and told them, hey, this is what happened. I ordered the 740, but I got the 1140. What should I do, or what do I need to do? And they're like, oh yeah, we apologize for that. If you can come by, we'll exchange it right away and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll stop by after work. And so after work, we went down and went and did the exchange. And as they were pulling the card out with the one that they were bringing out, it was the 1140 again. And so I'm like, I got out and I'm like, you guys really must want me to have this one because that's actually the one I'm bringing back. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, the way, or when they looked at it, the packaging from, I guess, where they're shipped from showed that it was a 740, but the actual packaging of the box says 1140. And so I gave them the other one and they took both of them back. And they're like, okay, well, we'll get that fixed up for you and be right back. So they came back a couple of minutes later and they had the two 1140s still on the cart. And they're like, you know, we're really sorry, but it's out of stock. And it's not supposed to be in stock until March. And basically, you know, they were saying it was their mistake, and I was welcome to have that one. And if they happen to, you know, come back in stock quickly or whatever, that they may call me back and say, hey, you know, we got that back in stock. Would you be willing to switch that back out, or I guess come and switch that out, I guess. And I'm like, okay, as long as you guys are okay with it. I mean, I tried twice to return the product in order to get the one I actually ordered. And so they gave me the 1140, and so that's what I have. And so next I'm gonna do just a quick unboxing to take a look at it, and maybe show you guys. And I'm definitely going to do another video later on, kind of reviewing it and see what I think, because I know for the Pioneer receiver that I have right now, it was, I think it was, I didn't buy it when it was brand new. It was, so it was only like, I mean, I want to say it was like $400 or maybe $500 when I got it. And so compared to what the Anthem is, that's a big jump. And so I'm really curious as to how big of a difference that actually is. Will I notice the difference? One of the things that I'm looking forward to is that the Pioneer speakers have a low sensitivity, so they need a lot of power from what I heard. And actually, I've been doing a lot more research recently in regards to home theater and stuff like that. So, but yeah, they require a lot of power, so I'm looking forward to seeing if that makes a difference on this. And then also the Arc Genesis room correction software. I've heard a lot of good things about that, even with their older models, and they apparently revamped it recently for their older models and these newer models and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that does and seeing if that makes a difference. The one other thing that I've also recently done for the speakers that I have right now are buying some isolation stuff. So there's pads under each of the subwoofers that I put under there, and I actually, honestly, I didn't think it was going to make that big of a difference, but after putting them on, I could immediately tell it seemed like the bass was just a lot cleaner. There was a lot less shaking in the house and stuff, and we don't have a big house. I mean, our house is pretty small. It's 1,400 square feet total, and so I'm not sure exactly how big our living room is, but it's pretty small. And it always used to shake everything and stuff like that. I've actually broken a little planter before that just shook off the shelf and stuff. And then I did kind of the same thing for the tower speakers, is bought an isolation pad, but I also, out of a 12x2 board, I created a little kind of like stand for it. Because one of the things that I've read for these is that because they are so short, when you're sitting down, sometimes it sounds like the voices are a little bit lower than what they should be, as far as height. So it sounds like somebody's like sitting down and talking to you instead of like standing up or whatever. And so that I'm hoping that this will, or I was hoping that this would raise them up a little bit more so that it would be better sounding in that sense. And it does make a difference. I've also was like a little bit kind of like, I don't know if that's actually going to do anything, but we'll give it a shot. And it sure does. So I definitely recommend doing that stuff if you have those speakers, and also for subs, having some sort of isolation really did make a difference, which surprised me as to how much of a difference that actually made. Of course, I'll have some affiliate links down at the bottom if you're interested in any of these. I don't think Amazon carries the Anthem receivers, but there'll be a link to, you know, just Anthem's website or what have you. And I think that's really it. So next I'll do the quick unboxing, and then we'll end the video. All right guys, so that's the unboxing. It's actually kind of heavy, so I'm a little bit out of breath, which kind of stinks because I've been working out and stuff like that, so I shouldn't be. But there it is, MRX 1140. That's what it is, and that's what it looks like. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you want to see or any questions that you have about it, and I'll try to see if I can make a video about it. I'm definitely going to make one comparing it to what I currently have to what this is able to do. And so that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. I would definitely appreciate a like, of course, on the video. And make sure to subscribe. It's totally free to do that. And hit that notification bell so you'll know when the next one drops. And until then, I hope you have a good one.